Hi, I'm Christine Adam. I'm a voice, accent, and communication coach here to answer questions that you have brought up with me. And today I'm answering a question from a client who recently got some feedback about her presentation skills. She was told that she often talks at people rather than to people. And she came to me and said, "How do I stop doing that?" So I want to reframe what a presentation is. And this is true like for presentations, and it's also true for more singular performance styles, like when you're having to deliver a monologue. A presentation is not so much a performance as it is a conversation, even if you are the only person talking. And why that's important is because when we are having a conversation with people, like if I were telling you a story and I were only talking at you, like I weren't, as I was telling the story, sort of cueing in to how you were responding to the story, but no matter what you were doing, I was just telling you the story, that would come across strange in conversation, because that's not really how we interact as human beings. When I'm in conversation with you, even if I'm the person talking, how we normally tend to interact is that the person who's talking is aware of the other person and how they're responding to the story that's being told. So we're checking in with each other about what the body language is. Are you following me? Are you with me? Do you seem like you disagree with that? Or, we're subconsciously and consciously monitoring and watching and listening to the person that we're talking to. And this is what can sometimes be the missing piece in presentations. We forget that it still has to be a conversation, even if we're the only person talking. There still has to be that listening component. The audience wants to be invited in. They want to feel like you are responding to them in real time and not simply reading or delivering the prepared presentation that you came up with ahead of time without any acknowledgement of the people in front of you. So there are simple things you can do, like you do in conversation, to do that. You can play with eye contact. So making sure that you're taking moments to specifically look at different people in your audience as you're speaking. Making sure you're not reading your presentation, especially if you're using slide or PowerPoint, that you are landing your thoughts with your audience rather than reading them to the screen or landing the final bits of the thought with the screen. Bringing humor in here can be key, and a little bit of improvisation with that can be key. So anything that you would normally do in a conversation is still fair game in a presentation, but what that requires is that you've rehearsed that presentation. You have to be so comfortable with your content that you can go off key and respond to the people in front of you without it totally throwing you off of your content. So I'm not saying don't prepare at all. I'm saying it's actually quite the opposite. For you to be able to have a repartee and a rapport with your audience, you have to feel really solid in what it is you're presenting. This is just a small tidbit for let's reframe a presentation. It's not a static performance. It is a conversation. That doesn't mean that there's not an art form to it. It's not like having a conversation at a restaurant or at a bar or a pub. There are some things we'll have to do to formalize the situation, but where it's a conversation is in the building of a rapport with your audience. It's in that listening element. If that is missing, your audience will always feel like you're talking at them, and they're not going to connect to you in the same way. There are tons of other videos I've made that go into this in more detail, so feel free to check them out. And thank you so much for the question. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.